guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I thought it would be a great idea to make some bookmarks. So I'm using this art piece, and I'm going to go ahead and scan this into my computer, and I will be using the Epson V600 Photo scanner, and I am using my MacBook for editing and whatnot. And I'm just using the plain photo editor for this. I didn't want to get too fancy as for this is just a prototype and I do not have Photoshop, so I'm going to be looking into some free applications like PicMonkey and things like that. But for the purpose of this video, I just really wanted to kind of see what this image would look like as a bookmark and see if I really liked how it would turn out. So having said that, for some reason, with my printer layout, this didn't work out the way I expected. I never really have a problem with it when I'm trying to print out 4 pieces on the same sheet of paper, or 1 piece 4 times on the same sheet of paper for color comps. And in this case, I couldn't get the page layout to print the way that I wanted to, which was I wanted to print 4 vertically side by side. So after a while, I did figure out that I had to go into Keynote and actually insert the image and copy and paste it 4 times like you see me doing here on the screen. And then I was finally able to find something that would work and I could print out and make sure that I had that all situated, which worked out really well. So after finally working out that kink in my plan, I was finally ready to send that off to my office printer, which did go fine. I did make 3 copies of this print, and after the 3rd one, I began to have lines in my prints, which was a little disappointing because if I originally wanted to do this from home, and that apparently was not going to work out well. So after testing out my little prints to see what the size comparison was to the bookmark that you just saw, some of the colors were different as well, so I had to go with the option that was most close to the original. And then once those were printed out and I picked one that would work well enough, I had to laminate the set of 4, and the laminating process was simple enough. You basically just make sure you put the right end in first and then put it through the machine the correct way, and it's all good to go. I have to say I was a little disappointed with how bad the smell was with the laminator, so if you are doing a massive amount of those, I recommend doing that in a very well ventilated area. So after that, I had to cut them out and get them all ready for hole punching and corner rounding, etc. The one downfall, I don't think that I really should have picked a thicker cardstock when it came to these. These came out a little bit thinner than I would have liked. So that is something to keep in mind as well. I thought cardstock was cardstock and it was all basically the same size and weight, and that's definitely not the case. It was a lot thinner than I thought it was going to be, which was a little disappointing in my case. But all in all, I was able to make these and cut them out. They're a little bit smaller than your typical bookmark, but I was able to fit the whole image on there, which is something that I wanted, and all the templates that were available really cut them in a very weird way, and I designed this actual art piece for a bookmark, so I was a little disappointed that it didn't work out in my favor. So I'm definitely going to have to modify that the next time I try to make a bookmark design. But moving on now, so I have an eyelet tool, an eyelet set. I'll be using a hole punch, and what else do we have here? A corner rounder for the edges, because I think bookmarks just look a lot better when they have rounded corners, and it will help with the edges peeling. So that is something that I recommend as well. And I also grabbed some accessories for my bookmarks, and this idea came from Kiri Leonard. I will leave her YouTube channel linked in the video description below. She has a very unique way of decorating her bookmarks, and I really wanted to give it a try. So this is some silver chain for jewelry making. And then I ordered a bunch of bookmark tassels for, you know, decoration, and I really like these ones. They're a lot smaller than I thought they would be, but they ended up working really well with the fact that these are abnormally shaped bookmarks. And the last thing that I got was some little moon and star charms. I thought that would be fitting with Red Riding Hood, and I thought they were really cute. So I decided to get some extra charms to kind of test out what that would look like in the bookmark. So after gathering all of those supplies, it was time to punch holes in the center, and I recommend actually getting a handheld one of these. This was just something that I had already had, and I wasn't going out to buy an extra one because I wasn't really sure if this was something that I was going to pursue or not. So then I tested out my quarter rounder on this scrap piece of paper before I went in and actually used it on the bookmarks. Definitely gonna have to upgrade this thing too as well. I don't recommend this one. You can only do one piece at a time, and I really had a hard time getting through the laminated surface as well. So it was a little difficult to use this one. If anybody has a good corner rounder recommendation, please let me know in the comments below so I can pick that up. But aside from that, they all came out looking pretty good with the hole punch and the corner rounders, making them look nice as it was. And then I went on to my eyelet pliers, and this is where things got a little bit shaky. Eyelets are not officially easy to do for me. I kept doing it backwards, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. So I definitely recommend practicing this. As you can see, I had to keep pulling out my instructions to make sure I was doing it right, because it just didn't seem like it was working in my favor. But it did turn out that I was kind of doing it backwards, and that's why they kept coming out a little goofy. But eventually I figured it out and I moved on. So I attached one of the bookmarks with just a plain tassel, and then for my second one I wanted to put a charm on the tassel and have it be like a little extra flourish for that option. And this was a little tricky as well. It took me quite a while to find a pair of needle nose pliers that were small enough to pinch the little chains that hold the charm on the tassel together. So I really like the way this one turned out for sure. And then I moved on to the silver chain, and my goal here was to attach a little rounded hoop thing on the top so it wouldn't move around and hold its place like you see me doing now, and then cut the chain to the length that I want, and I wanted them kind of one higher than the other, and then I was going to add 2 charms to each of those. All in all, I am really happy with the results of this little experiment. The only thing that I think I am going to change is that I'm going to look into getting them printed and then adding the extras myself. Just so that they come out thicker, and the print quality is something that's easily controlled because I won't have to do it. So these are the 3 that I did. Let me know which one is your favorite. The one with the tassel and the charm, the one with just the tassel, or the one with the chain and the 2 charms. If you guys have any questions about today's process in making these bookmarks, make sure you drop me a comment and I will do my best to answer any of the questions you might have. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of my future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.